Hi everyone and welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. This is the third instalment from my book, Tesla and the Cabbage Patch Kids, where each week I'm reading just a few paragraphs from each chapter. This is the paperback version, which came out recently. And you can buy them still directly from me if you want a signed copy, or you can buy them straight from Amazon. There's an ebook also available. Chapter 3 is titled The Tartarian Empire. I'm not starting at the beginning with this particular chapter because I think you might find it more interesting to know who the Tartarians actually were. So I'm starting on page 47. Here we go. Poland was originally part of the Tartarian Empire and one of the first countries to break away. In 550 AD, Duke Lech gained their independence with a lot of help from the Holy Roman Empire. At the same time, most of Western Europe was populated by the Celts. The Celts descended from Gomer, the son of Japhet, the eldest son of Noah. The Celts also went on to dominate Germany, Hungary and Spain, leaving the rest of the Tartarian Empire under the control of Magog, Gomer's brother. Then Tartaria was known as Scythia, and its inhabitants referred to as nomads due to their desire to wander and rarely settle. In ancient times they were also known as Avars and Moguls, but more commonly as the Turks. Tamerlane was one of the most celebrated kings of Tartar and ruled from 1370 AD to 1405 AD. During his reign he conquered Persia, Turkestan, most of Russia and Hindustan, and sacked Aleppo, Baghdad and Damascus, and went on to also conquer Syria and Asia Minor. Ambassadors of every sovereignty in the world would visit Tamerlane to pay their respects on a fairly regular basis. The capital of the Tartarian Empire was Samarkand, and each region was governed by a Khan or prince of its own kind. Their ethos was heavily focused on spiritual growth, healing using frequency and vibration, not just the people but animals too, as well as the advancement in technology and later free world travel. They practiced feng shui when constructing the most incredible buildings, ensuring that they aligned with ley lines. It is thought by some that one particular group of Tartarians were also what's known as breatharians, a being that does not rely on eating food for sustenance, rather getting its energy from the ether, in the same way a plant or tree gets its energy. This is possibly why we don't see any sewer systems or waste treatment plants in old world buildings. Tartarians studied the Book of Changes, which was the science of refining one's own energy with the goal of living a long and enlightened life. Breathing techniques were used to revitalize as well as keeping their thoughts disciplined, to keep in line with the Almighty Creator of all. Who the Almighty Creator actually is varies dramatically depending on your own personal beliefs. Christians would state that this is God, Muslims worship Muhammad, and many others, myself included, believe the Almighty Creator to be a source of energy that cannot be seen, yet we are all part of and is part of us. Sometimes I refer to this source of energy as Gaia or Mother Nature, but never as a person, being or entity. Tartarians fasted during certain astronomical stages and could go considerable lengths of time without eating or drinking. They also had a very different view to illness, seeking the assistance of a lama, a teacher of the Dharma in Tibetan Buddhism, at the nearest monastery. Whenever someone was sick, the lama would run their fingers over both wrist pulses simultaneously to diagnose the patient's condition. The remedy was almost always pulped vegetables and water, the ingredients of which were written onto a piece of paper, and both were eaten, believing that the prescription was as effective as the medicine itself. Some say the first ruler of the Tartarian Empire was King Solomon, and there are several mentions of this race of people and great nation in ancient scriptures, including the Old Testament. Even today we still see the word Tartar is very much alive and well. When eating steak, most of us will quickly avoid the rarest option, steak tartare. Of course, this is a very small yet significant reminder of what once was. There is far greater evidence of this forgotten or hidden empire, including the Gulf of Tartary, which can be found in the Pacific Ocean, separating mainland Asia from the Russian island of Sakhalin. The word Tartary in ancient scripture actually means the world under the world, which is ironic when you consider their history and architecture has mostly been wiped out during mud floods. However, in reality, it actually translates to Tartarians. They weren't that dissimilar to us today, with the exception of some of them being up to 12 feet in height, what you might refer to as giants, but without the features and medical issues giantism usually sees. The average height was an impressive 10 feet. This would certainly explain why so many, in fact all old public buildings and churches, have such huge doors and windows, as well as the windows being too high for us to see out of, and ceilings being far higher than makes practical sense, especially when we apparently didn't have efficient heating back then. So there you go. It's a little bit from chapter 3 of my book. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Bye for now.